Welcome to episode 63 of Fire Sale Franchise. It's week 1 of the 2021 season, our 6th season, and now let's quickly address what's up here at the bottom left. What happened was I made the mistake of advancing straight to the regular season after playing one preseason game, seeing how the team felt, how the new players looked, things like that. And what happened, because I didn't even think about cutting players, I'd never advanced to the regular season, I just wasn't thinking about it. I always go week by week, make sure to cut the players. This time, Brendan Coleman got cut, Brendan Warford got cut, and I cannot find them again right now, and I don't know what's up with that. They're not on any other teams, they're not in the free agents, they're not on anybody's practice squads. Obviously, Brendan Coleman wouldn't be anyway, but Brendan Warford could be, but they're nowhere. Now, I'm hoping this is because I can't cut guys and re-sign them straight away afterwards. I don't know why I wouldn't be able to do that, maybe to get them on lower contracts. So hopefully it's just that you can't do it straight away and they'll be here after we advance this week. But obviously we're not going to advance this week straight away because we've got a game to play. So here we are, the start of the season. I will fix, hopefully, the Brendan Coleman, Brendan Warford problem. If they're on other teams, I will get them back to us. I will find a way to make that work. If they still exist in the game, they will be back on the team. They were never meant to leave. However, I'm slightly worried right now that they just, have disappeared into nothingness. Maybe Brendan Coleman, took it as a sign that he should retire still relatively young. Brendan Warford thinking the exact same thing. Hopefully they'll be there. Even if another team picks them up, we'll get them back without having to sacrifice anything significant in the future. There shouldn't be any change except for maybe some behind the scenes stuff that won't affect anybody. Anyway, let's set this season goal. So we're in our 6th season. We have won 2 Super Bowls. We've been to the Super Bowl 3 times. Now is our goal again to make it to the Super Bowl, or is it to reach the conference championship? And I'm going to say this year it's to reach the conference championship. Not that I don't think we can win a Super Bowl again. It's more just we had that objective last season. It truly was the objective to make it to the Super Bowl, to win. There was no excuses. This year, we're not rebuilding, but we're not necessarily reloading. Last year, we just reloaded. Full-blown stocking up on weapons, making sure that we can make it the distance, and we did. Let's say we'll reach the divisional. It doesn't matter. Chance of firing is very high whether we do it or not. We'll make the conference championship. I'm not worried about it. Now, before we jump into the game against the Cowboys, let's talk about why I'm not worried about it. Obviously, finally spent that XP that everybody had got after winning the Super Bowl. Now, this quarterback situation, these two guys are not going to be our backup quarterbacks. Got to figure that one out. But before we go into anything, Lancet 91 rated, and he's got these 2 wide receivers here. Let's talk about the depth chart, because of course a lot has changed. I only drafted the players, then I've decided the depth chart. So, I've decided that these 2 guys are good enough to start based on a very, very important reason that I didn't think would be. The plan was, Hanspard was going to start at X. He's huge, he's fast, he's the perfect player for that position, but I thought maybe Malcolm Mitchell stays at number 2, Greer could play in the slot, maybe work his way up to number 2. However, I don't know what happened, but everybody's speed has fallen massively. Brandon Coleman had 83 speed. Malcolm Mitchell, who used to have 91, I swear, has dropped to 88 speed. Tajay Sharp has dropped, I think, as well. Everybody got really slow and I have no idea why. Grigsby and Judy are basically the same player in a lot of ways, but we're gonna start with Derrick Henry. He's the man who proved himself, and Grigsby's got to prove himself if he's going to take away his thing. The way I'll do this, I think, because obviously we want to work him in as much as possible, anytime we're up by 2 scores, we'll put Grigsby in. Our offensive line is completely unchanged, just got a little bit better. Nat Newsom now an 87 overall. Everything good except for center at 78, still a little bit weak. Chance Sugars a 99 overall now. It's just ridiculous how good he is. Then we've got Kirby Lott at an 80. Kirby Lott, we did improve, but only with run blocking and stuff, so his overall didn't jump. So let's take a look at our other defenders. Jameson Nickerson was a 91, I swear, at one point, dropped to 89, is 91 again. He's got 91 man and zone coverage. Ryan Tatum jumped to a 91 overall as well. His climb has just been ridiculous. Decker went from I think it was like a 75 or something to a 79. I don't know, he jumped a lot just from preseason XP. We were able to jump him a lot. Obviously, defensive tackles looking nice. Ronald Darby, I don't think jumped in overall, but got a little bit better. Edgerton Fillon is better as well. Dyson got better, but didn't improve. Eric Nickerson jumped to an 88 from an 86. Christian Stuckey to a 90 from an 88. Kevin Pierre-Lewis not improving. I think this is the season, considering he's in his last year of his contract, that we do swap him a little more regular with Deion Jones. And Darren Stanley, I think, improved to an 88, maybe was already good. But again, he's another guy who improved some important things but didn't really get better in the stats. Specialist-wise, this is what annoyed me about Brennan Coleman being cut by the computer. We have 2 punters and they thought we should cut a wide receiver and a cornerback instead. You know, a cornerback who played punt returner and has so many touchdowns from the position, and you thought this other punter would be more important to keep on the team. So right now our returners are Grigsby and Judy. Very good returners. I was thinking about Greer as well. There's a bunch of guys that can actually do a good job there, but Grigsby, Judy will be our 2 guys right now. Third down running back right now, Grigsby has outstanding route running, so we're going to stick with him. And that is everything. I just can't wait to use this team, and it starts here against the Cowboys, who have drawn the card of having to play us first. It'll be interesting to see those Cowboys. What I've seen of them at any point so far, they are a similar team to what we know of them right now, and it should be an interesting game. And let's get into our first game of the 2021 season with some exciting new players on offense and defense again. Here we go, the first play of the first game of the season, and it's a run outside. Ezekiel Elliott managing to get around Antoine Dyson, finally being brought down by a gang, but it's a big gain. We know we're going to have to fight this run game all day long. 2nd and 8, there's a nice hit in there from Stuckey, and we managed to hold them. They punt us into the 2-yard line, and the first run, Derrick Henry cannot get anything, so we look to pass for it. 2nd and 11, we pick up some yards with Chance Sugars, and we have a 3rd and 4 now, looking for that first down, and we get it with Crosby Greer here, his first catch, and he almost looked like he was going to break free there, but he ends up falling. 3rd and 6 now, looking for Gerald Hanspard, and his pass interference against him, so we do pick up the first down. 1st and 10, running it with Derrick Henry, and he's now managing to fight for some yards, but we had to punt it away as well. And now the Cowboys running the ball again. Ezekiel Elliott weaving through some traffic there, fighting off everybody, but gets pushed out of bounds eventually by Ronald Darby. 1st and 10, running to the outside again. Antoine Dyson's coming in. Eric Nickerson came over the top, and he is caught from the back as well. 3rd and 4 now, a chance to get him off the field here. Dak Prescott finds his man. They're wide open. Des Bryant making people miss. Nobody really tackling him until Antoine Dyson finally brings him down at the 21-yard line. 3rd and 10, we have him in here now. Can we hold him to a field goal? And the stop there by Christian Stuckey, 4th and inches. So they do have to go for 3, which they get. We have the ball back, and Derrick Henry now with a nice big run up there for a first down. 2nd and 4, looking to pass, and it's out to Kirby Lott. And there's a perfect block downfield by Gerald Hanspard, springing Lott free. He's only got these guys to beat for speed, which he cannot do. Pushed out of bounds at the 2-yard line. And on 3rd and goal, we go for a pitch to Derrick Henry, who takes it in for the first touchdown of the game, of the season. And we go up 7-3 after a nice drive there. Some excellent blocking by Gerald Hanspard, the rookie. 1st and 10, they try and run. We managed to do a little more against that this time, so 2nd and 9 at the 37 now. Eric Nickerson was blocked low, but he gets up and manages to bring Dak Prescott down for the sack. So 3rd and 17 now, looking for something, but Kyle Decker, the rookie, comes in with the sack, stops the drive there, dead in its tracks. And on 4th and 22, they have to punt away. And back to return it is Kemnavis Grigsby, the rookie running back. Picks it up at the 15-yard line, takes it outside. Has got a couple of guys to beat, gets around the first one. Cannot get a perfect block from D. Milliner, is tackled, but nevertheless a very nice pickup. 3rd and 5 here, looking for the first down. Kirby Lott cannot get it, but we decide to go for it. 4th and 2. Lance Sitton looking to pass, finds Chance Sugars, who picks up more than just those 2 yards for the first down. And on 1st and 10, we run to the outside here with Derrick Henry. Nice blocks by the receivers and fullbacks. Takes a low hit there. 2nd and 4 now, Sitton looking to pass, throws it up, it's tipped, but Derrick Henry catches it, spins off the first contact, is hit low again, tackled at the 14-yard line. 2nd and 9 now, looking for a run here. Janikowski there to make the block. Derrick Henry didn't even have to drop his shoulder for that defender. A perfect run. Excellent blocking from the guard downfield. Score now 14-3. 2nd and 10 for the Cowboys, passing it and actually just losing yards there, setting up this 3rd and 13. And they go to run for it. Ezekiel Elliott round the outside. Ryan Tatum catches him from behind, brings him down. With our following possession, we just ran the clock down, and here we are in the second half. 14-3 the score, and we kick it off with Will Judy returning the ball, and Will Judy just going straight up the middle. Will Judy is free, didn't even have to adjust the way he was running, is just running straight up the middle. Will Judy with a 102-yard touchdown return. The offensive rookie of the year from a couple of years past is back. 3rd and 7 now for the Cowboys. Looking for something here. Kyle Decker chasing him. Ryan Tatum coming down as well. And it's a shared sack between the two Michigan State boys. 1st and 10 now. A run with Kemnavis Grigsby. His first touch of the game. The first touch of his career. And it looks like he's gone from the 18-yard line. Kemnavis Grigsby is gone all the way for a touchdown. on his first touch as an NFL running back. He takes it the distance. So back-to-back huge plays there, and the Cowboys have some catching up to do now. 3rd and 8, and they cannot get anything. A sack there, Ryan Tatum in again. 2nd and 9, running it with Cam Grigsby here around the outside. Manages to get close to the first down, but doesn't get the first down. On 3rd and 2, we look to pick that up with Derrick Henry, who fights his way for the first down. We know we can still grind it out with him. Handing it back off to Derrick Henry again. It's another nice pickup, and he continues to fight for yards. And now 3rd and 8 at the 49-yard line, looking to pass for this one, throwing it up, and Greer could not make that catch. It was asking a lot, and under pressure he couldn't do it. 4th and 8, and the punt is blocked. That was one of the first punts by the rookie punter here, and it gets blocked. Tremont Steed stopped that being returned for anything worse, but it was still pretty bad, giving him a good field position here. And then a big reception over the middle gives him even better field position. 3rd and 5 now at the 9-yard line, and it's a completion short of the goal line to Ezekiel Elliott. 1st and goal, they try and run it, and it doesn't happen there for them. Jameson Nickerson in for the tackle. 2nd and goal, they try it again, and it doesn't happen again. Antoine Dyson in on that tackle. And 3rd and goal, they go for a smart play there. The fake fullback dive for the pitch to Ezekiel Elliott, and he goes in untouched. Everybody bit on that one. 1st and 10 now at the 23-yard line after we did nothing with our next possession, and the Cowboys moving the ball again there. They like to go to the tight end. That is something they'd like to do a lot, and they've been doing it well. And there they go to Brashad Perriman over the middle. 50-yard line, he gets tackled at. 1st and 10 at the 37-yard line now. Dak Prescott in the pocket has time to find his tight end again, and it's a completion to the 17-yard line. 2nd and 8, and they go for a handoff there. Elliott juking, making people miss, and gets into the end zone, and now the score's a little bit closer than it was a couple of drives ago. The score 28-17, still a decent enough size gap, and a completion over the middle there to Gerald Hanspard, the rookie. That's his first catch of his career. 2nd and 8, and it's a run with Derrick Henry, who goes around the outside, fights the first tackler, picks up the first down, and now 1st and 10 for the Cowboys after, again, we did nothing. They've got 1 minute 47 left in this game. Dak Prescott with time in the pocket, and he completes there for a 20-yard pickup to the 36-yard line. 3rd and 10 at that 36-yard line now, and it's another completion over the middle to the tight end, taking him to the 43-yard line. 1st and 10 now with 1 minute 10 left in the game, and it's a completion, and the receiver Perriman goes out of bounds. 3rd and 5 at the 20 with 42 seconds left. Dak Prescott in the pocket, moving up, has to throw that one away, and they settle for a field goal. They tried an onside kick, which we recovered. We have to get this first down, and Cam Grigsby fights through contact to get it, and we can run the clock out and win. That's the first game of the season in the books, and, well, it ended up looking closer than it was at one point. We were up, I think, even 28-3, weren't we? And then, well, it kind of leveled out for us. Yeah, it was 28-3, and then they brought it back in the 4th quarter, but it wasn't actually that close. So passing today wasn't really a thing. Lance Sitton, 151 yards, 61% completion percentage, no touchdowns or interceptions. Rushing was where it was at, though. Derrick Henry, 19 attempts for 102 yards, 5.3 yards per carry and 2 touchdowns. Cam Grigsby, 9 touches, 100 yards and a touchdown. Both of the guys breaking 3 tackles. Yards after contact, Derrick Henry with 30, which is obviously a lot. Receiving, Cam Grigsby again, 3 for 11. That's tied for the most receptions by any one player, but it's nicely spread out here. Crosby Greer with 3 for 31. Chance Struggles 2 for 17. Kirby Lott 2 for 55. Blake Moreland even had 1. Gerald Hanspard 1 for 19, but he did have 2 drops. He was, in traffic. There weren't big drops or anything. It's not a thing to think about yet. Defensively, Christian Stuckey, 10 tackles today. Then Ryan Tatum with sacks. 1.5 for Kyle Decker. Nice start for the rookie. Eric Nickerson with 1, Ryan Tatum with 1, half a sack for Jamarcus Van. No interceptions, of course, no forced fumbles or anything. Slightly better in that regard, but it was a good day for the defense. Solid game, great game for the first game of the season, and I'm happy to come out with a win. And here we are, week 2, and we've got ourselves a trade offer for Derek Milner. Now, we like 2nd round picks, we like 1st round picks. We do not like 4th, 5th, and 7th round picks, so no thank you, Rams. It's not actually a bad offer, but we're all about the high value picks, forget the later round ones. Something we can do now before we get into this game against the Bills is have a look for those missing players that we have lost, misplaced. But that is just something that's going to happen in the background. Off we go into this game against the Bills. So the number one thing to mention for the Bills is that Paxton Lynch is the man at quarterback for them, but they still like to run the ball over everything else, and they do it well. They just run it straight up the middle, play a lot of heavy sets and run it down our throat. and we struggle to stop it to begin with, and we see him now at 1st and 10 at the 18-yard line, and again in those heavy sets, continuing to run it. They do actually have a very nice collection of wide receivers, but they don't feel the need to use them right now. 1st and goal, they run again. 2nd and goal, they just go straight up the middle again, and this time it works for them. They get in for the touchdown, so they start this game with a touchdown. That's rare to see usually on our defense. 3rd and 8 here, and Lance Sitton managing to find Chance Sugars there, having to drop back until he became open for the first down on 1st and 10 now at the 45-yard line, finding Blake Morland, who just runs straight over the first guy there. That's not a decision a cornerback really likes to make. 1st and 10, and Lance Sitton fumbles the ball, and it's recovered by the Bills defense, so we turn the ball over on our first possession. Now the Bills have it back. 2nd and 7, running with it. Antoine Dyson trying to make a tackle, couldn't do it. Jameson Nickerson finally pushing the guy out of bounds, but Middleton here causing us some problems. 3rd and 7, a chance to hold them to a field goal here. Paxton Lynch spending far too much time stood there in the pocket, nobody open. Under pressure, was incomplete pass, and now Derrick Henry trying to make some runs of his own here, and he picks up some nice yards there. 3rd and 12 though, Sitton having to try and find somebody, and he finds Gerald Hanspard, and he gets downfield to the 33-yard line. 3rd and 10 now, though. A couple of plays didn't work. Stepping up in the pocket, Lance Sitton then escapes and picks up 14 yards on the ground here. A very nice run, and on 1st and 10, a run to the outside here. Tajay Sharps upfield to make the block, and Derrick Henry can get into the end zone. 2 weeks in a row now, we've seen some great blocking downfield when we've been running the ball. 3rd and 4 here, and it's a stop. That is the rookie corner, Edgerton Fillen, stopping him for 4th and inches, and they punt it away to Kemnavis Grigsby. We saw him last week with a nice return. 10-yard line here, taking it back, and he's finding some space here. Kemnavis Grigsby, can he get around this man? No, he cannot. Tackled, but he made it over the 50-yard line, starting at his own 10. A handoff here to Derrick Henry, running behind his blockers with a nice pickup. Then on 2nd and 3, going back to the ground, and we just gave that linebacker a free release, and Derrick Henry pays the price. 3rd and 6 now, looking for Gerald Hanspard, who drops the ball, couldn't make the catch, and we go for a 61-yard field goal here. Brennan Thomason with his first big kick of the season, and it's good. 2nd and 5 here. Paxton Lynch rolling out. He's got plenty of time here deep in the pocket, and he finds Sammy Watkins, who spins away from the first man. Antoine Dyson making the tackle. 1st and 10 now, and it's a screenplay. It was covered. Emmanuel Jeffries manages to come in with the sack, and we got him here on 3rd and 8 at the 40-yard line. But Paxton Lynch finds an open receiver downfield over the 20-yard line into the red zone. And now 1st and 10 at the 15-yard line. Lynch looking to pass again, and there at the back of the end zone finds yet another receiver. He was wide open there at the back. 1st and 10 now at the 30-yard line for us, and we're looking over the middle, and Gerald Hanspard with the catch somehow between the corners, and he takes it in for the touchdown. A 70-yard touchdown reception for the rookie receiver there. After a drop pass earlier, he manages to make this catch in between some corners and has got a free release there just to beat everybody with his speed. So 1st and 10 at the 25-yard line now for Lynch. He's going short, and Eric Nickerson is in there with the tackle. 1st and 10 a couple of plays later, only 10 seconds left in this half, and Kyle Decker in there with the strip sack. We're now in the second half. 2nd and 6, and we find Chance Sugars there at the sideline, manages to stay in bounds, pick up the first down. 3rd and 7 here, 40-yard line, throwing it up for Gerald Hanspard, another reception, and it looks like he's going to be in for another long touchdown. We already saw a 70-yarder, this time it's a 60-yarder. Gerald Hanspard with the big receptions today, did have a drop pass, but he's more than made up for that. And now the Bills continuing to try and run this, and we've started to focus our efforts on stopping the run. But then with that, you also see some big passes like this, and they do, like I said, have these good receivers, and they're punishing us right now. Running around the outside, I don't know what Antoine Dyson was doing there. It's up to Jameson Nickerson to go catch him, which he manages to do at the 23-yard line. 2nd and inches, they go to run for it. No, it's a fake. Stuckey and Pierre Lewis never bit on it, and they come in with the pressure, and on 3rd and inches, they go to run for it, but Pierre Lewis was in for a tackle for a loss, hold them to a field goal, score 20-24. Will Judy here with a run, couldn't get away from the final man. That's the kind of run you used to see him make a lot. 1st and 10 at the 40-yard line. It's a big throw up to Crosby Greer, and Greer is in for the touchdown. Both rookies now with some big touchdowns on the sidelines there. They cannot keep up with them. They are far too fast. 1st and 10, they try to run there. It's a tackle for a loss by Ryan Tatum. 3rd and 14 now, and Darren Stanley escorts that tight end out of bounds, and they have to punt away. 4th and 8. Kemnavis Grigsby having to collect it at the 2-yard line here. Kemnavis Grigsby breaking around the outside, and all of a sudden he's got a lot of green in front of him. Gets around that one man's got a couple of guys to beat for speed, but Kemnavis Grigsby can do it, and he's about to take it in for a touchdown. A huge 96-yard touchdown return. Picked it up at the 4-yard line and took it back all the way. 2nd and 10 now at the 19-yard line. Paxton Lynch making some people miss and couldn't even get tackled at the end there. Manages to slide. 1st and 10 trying the run. Christian Stuckey stopping that one. 1st and 10 at the 38-yard line now looking to pass. Paxton Lynch, a little bit of pressure in the pocket and he gets rushed there. Ryan Tatum should have been taking that one to the house, instead just knocks it down. 3rd and 10, under some pressure again, but he does complete there. D. Milliner in on the tackle. 1st and 15 at the 28-yard line, stepping up in the pocket. Paxton Lynch with some time, but nobody open. Finally finds somebody in the end zone, and it's a reception for yet another touchdown. These receivers now making us pay. After the run game, we managed to slow down a little bit. Deion Jones there on the ground actually gets credit for a half sack there as Jamarcus Vance cleaned it up. And then 2nd and 13, Deion Jones in again for another sack, this time a full sack. Great plays from him there, back to back. 4th and 12 now at the 50-yard line. Paxton Lynch managing to move through some traffic, throws it into the end zone. It's broken up by Jameson Nickerson anyway, but it was an illegal throw downfield. And this should be the last play of the game. Cam Davis-Grigsby just picking up some rushing yards there, and we can run out the clock. That is a look at the new Saints offense with these new players. We still get it done on the ground. We can run you over, and then we've got some absolute flyers on the outsides now. So Lance Sitton, 248 yards, 57% completion percentage, 3 touchdowns. Then rushing pretty spaced out actually. Cam Davis-Grigsby ends up leading the team with 10 attempts, 43 yards. Derrick Henry 7 for 39, Will Judy 2 for 24, Will Sitton 1 for 14. 3 receptions for Gerald Hanspard, 164 yards, 2 touchdowns. Chance Sugars 2 for 29. Crosby Greer 2 for 43. On defense, Eric Nickerson and Christian Stuckey leading the team with 7 tackles apiece. Tackles for loss, 2 for Darren Stanley, 2 for Ryan Tatum. Sacks, 1.5 for Deion Jones coming in late and making a big impact. Kyle Decker with 1, Emmanuel Jeffries with 1, Jamarcus Vance with a half a sack. Again, no interceptions. We do have a forced fumble this time, again not recovered by Kyle Decker. Solid day, very odd from the numbers wise, very low number of passes and attempts, but a good number of yards. But I'm happy with what we did. Of course, another kick return certainly helps us out there. Will Judy had one last week. This week it's a punt return for a touchdown by Cam Davis-Grigsby, 97 yards. We managed to win both games, both a little bit closer than we wanted to. Defense hasn't been as dominating as it usually is this year so far, but it's early on, they can do a lot, and hopefully they'll improve in the coming weeks.